I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This isn't a typical episode. I'm not going to talk about any tools. I'm not going to explain how I do anything. Well, maybe a little bit. What I really want to talk about is communication. I made a video about 4 years ago. And on that video, I talked about sharpening a file. I had a few comments on the day that I put it up, and not much more than that. About a year later, I got some more comments, but altogether, I don't think I had 10 people talking about it. Then I noticed that Metal Tips and Tricks had put up a video on how to sharpen files. So I went to see. And his process was exactly the same as mine. The process worked, and I thought, great, another guy likes it. He ended up with a whole lot of people really ripping into him, saying that he hadn't done a good job, that he hadn't explained it well, that he was all the wonderful things that trolls do on YouTube. And I was rather shocked. I thought it's simple and it's easy to check, and all you have to do is try it. I made a few responses trying to be supportive and explain to people who were asking questions about how the process worked, what I did and how I made it work, and answering questions when they asked. On my video, I got a response where a person said, "It doesn't work, how can it?" To my regret, I read his words as antagonistic. As I read through his post, I became convinced that what he was doing was just being a troll. So I responded as if I was responding to a troll, explaining in no uncertain terms that I thought he was being unfair and did not represent the kind of person that I wanted on my website. In subsequent comments, he explained further what his issues were. And after giving it a day's rest, I went back to check. Seems that he had some legitimate questions, and I stopped and sat down and wrote what I thought was a legitimate answer. A few days ago, he sent me a comment. He tried it, it worked, he was very happy. I'm very happy also. But I'm somewhat chagrined that the conversation got started off so badly. Now, in my English classes, my college professor talked to me at length about using the proper method of presenting a complaint letter. You have to be positive. You have to explain clearly. You have to speak to the problem and not use hyperbole. Aggressive language only breeds aggression. And I try very hard to remember that when I'm doing emails. In the business world, emails can be very damaging. I always try very hard to be nice in my emails and my comments. I want to be supportive. I want to talk about what can be done to change the person's mind to think the same way that I do. So we all need to be more cautious, both in sending in comments to the YouTube creators and in replying to the people who comment. Not everyone who comments is out to get us. Not every YouTuber who says something is attacking you or your mother. There's enough of them that do. We don't need to add to that group. When I respond to your emails, I am really going to try even harder now to listen, read it clearly, and understand what you say. By the same token, I'd appreciate it if when you comment on my channel or anybody's channel, think about what you're saying. Talk to us like a person who's in the room with you. When you write, you can't see my face. You can't tell that I'm going and being very concerned about what you're talking about. Or just thinking whatever you're saying is totally funny. Remember that we don't have that communication link of the facial expressions, the body language, me leaning forward into the camera, pointing my finger at you, raising my voice. Those would all indicate that I'm pretty strenuously talking to you. If I'm typing the words there's none of that. Now emoticons try and fill that in a little bit, but putting a smiley face at the end of a rant usually doesn't help. So, when you send me a message, expect me to read it and understand it as best I can, and I might ask you a question about it. I'm going to try not to bark at you, and I might not respond right away. If I see it as being something a little bit negative, I'm going to wait. I might type out an answer, but I certainly won't send it to you until I've read it again, at least 2 hours later when I've calmed down. There's no need for me to be a troll or act like a troll in response to somebody who's a troll. Best thing to do in that case is just ignore them. Well, thanks for listening. I got to ramble a little bit, and I was just down here in the workshop and thought I'll actually try communicating with people rather than just typing something out and putting it in Facebook. Not many people see it. Hopefully a few more will see this. Thanks. I'm Dave Nicewonder, also known as Old Sneelock, and I'm a real person that really wants to talk to you.